So we are at 370 Lakeside Park in St. Peters. It is just off of 370, not too far from Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and 70. It's very easy to get to. You just take 370, you get off at the Truman exit, you make a right, and the road literally runs into this park. As I'm recording this, we are about, I don't know, a little over 2 miles into what is like a 3.5, 4 mile loop around the park. It is pretty much a paved open sun loop, so not real shady, but it is very, very quiet. We'll talk about that a little bit. Coming up on the RV park on our right. So the park has a loop paved open sun that goes around the lake. It's very easy. There are a number of amenities along the lake as well. You have this RV park, which this is Labor Day when we are recording this, so the RV park is predictably full. You've also got up ahead, you've got some pavilions, you've got watercraft rental. You can take some watercraft out onto the lake at some put-ins. And there are some other little bits and pieces that you can do along this park too. It's free to park at, mostly free to use unless you're renting or you're putting your RV in. So it's very nice that way.
There's also an archery range.
There is an archery range.
And a dog park.
The archery range is paved. The archery range is paid. It is you can pay to use the archery park. The dog park is a members only dog park. So you have to pay a membership fee and then you can access that. I do actually see it.
See a lone tent.
I see a tent. You don't see tents in this park very often, but they do exist.
Yeah. One time we were here and there was a group camping at the far end.
I do remember that.
It was a large group.
It was like a church group.
Like a church group, and like a dozen tents, and they had a centralized big tent where they did meals.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, and they were kind of off in their own space at the far end of the RV park.
The thing that I cannot help but do is compare this park to one that's maybe 15 minutes down the road, and that's Creve Coeur Lake Park in Maryland Heights. And the reason I compare them is that both parks, both 370 Lakeside and Creve Coeur Lake, both have lake loops that are a little under 4 miles. They both have the ability to rent watercraft. They're both paved.
Yeah.
But there are some differences too. Creve Coeur Lake has maybe a little wider pavement, so I suppose there's that. It's also got some shady areas, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Creve Coeur Lake is busy. And
very busy.
We have actually done videos at Creve Coeur Lake, and it's just on a Saturday, for example, you have to be very situationally aware, because there are
a lot of bikes to dodge.
Not cars, there are foot traffic, so you have walkers,
yeah.
You have runners, you have cross trainers, you've got people on bikes, like you said, on surreys.
They have surreys, these big carriage wagon things where like at least two people pedal.
Yeah, they look exhausting, but they can be popular.
They look kind of fun, but I'm afraid they would be like taking a pedal boat out on the lake, which is just exhausting.
Yes.
If you don't have, if you're not well trained and have lots of leg strength.
Yes.
Endurance.
Yes, all of that.
I personally, I find myself having to dodge lots of kids at Grief Corps Lake too. Kids on bikes will just ride straight at you.
When we were there not long ago, I had a kid almost collide with me as he was trying to figure out whether to go around my left or right.
Yeah, and which way do you dodge?
I was on the right side of the road where I was supposed to be, and he was just kind of headed my way, and so I just stopped.
Yeah,
and
it's just such a busy trail, a
right.
busy path that you just have to have a lot of awareness.
Well, and we've already talked about walkers, runners, bikers. The last time we were there, I saw skateboarders.
Yeah.
And rollerbladers too.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Good morning. I even spotted one motorized bike, which is technically prohibited at Grief Corps Lake.
Okay.
So the big upside to 370 Lakeside is that it is way less busy. I mean,
yeah, this is Labor Day, and this is the busiest I've ever seen.
Correct.
And it's not that busy.
And it's not that busy. We have had a few bikes pass us, and we passed some hikers and stuff, but it is not on the same plane. So
too bad.
So for us, this is like our kind of sleeper hit if we want to go someplace quiet.
And I feel like this is a good park if you want to see a little bit of wildlife. We've got some geese flying ahead in the distance, Canada geese. I think the last time I was here, I saw an eagle flying.
Yes.
I think that's the only time I've seen an eagle here. But there are lots of egrets. Occasionally, you'll see great blue herons. In the springtime, when we've walked along the back side of the loop closer to the woods, there's actually a stream or a creek back there in the woods. And we've seen just dozens and dozens of turtles sunning themselves
Yes.
on logs in the stream.
I remember that.
So it can be a cool place to see a little bit of wildlife. There's lots of killdeer, birds flying around here, birds that they make their nests on the ground in the middle of open fields like this.
One of the things that makes all of that possible too is that there's a lot of protected wetland in this area. You'll see markers for that, like don't enter this space, it's protected wetland.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of protectionism, I guess as they would call it, like the protected areas in the, good morning, in the midst of the conservation. Yeah, so conservation is like making an area, keeping it close to nature so that you can enjoy it as a human. Yeah. And protectionism, a protectionist policy is where you keep humans out of it altogether so it can remain in its nature state. And so this park has both. It's got the conservation spot, like where we're at right now. We're kind of walking, I mean it's paved, but you can kind of walk in nature. And then you've also got the protectionist wetlands that allow you to see a lot of that nature. Yeah. And so both of those together make this a really nice park.
Yeah. Coming up on a little bridge here.
I have to go single file.
Yeah.
So we cross this.
This is a flight path to Lambert Airport.
It is a flight path.
You may be able to hear the Southwest plane coming in for a landing.
Yes.
Just about right over the lake.
We flew over this park coming back from Orlando in 2024.
And these benches here, pretty much all the benches here are dedicated to people. In fact, we have relatives who dedicated a bench to someone. So that is something else that's available at this park.
It is.
If you're looking to preserve someone's memory.
Yes. Yeah, you do preserve a lot of memories. That's the park office there on the right, by the way. That's where if you need to rent watercraft or other things, or I think stay in the campsites, you go there.
You got a little marina here.
Just a little bit.
Some Canada geese.
Kind of coexisting. There are pavilions like most parks where you can rent them And there's some big ones too.
This is maybe the largest pavilion in the park.
I think so.
And I want to say that sometimes there are concerts.
I feel like that's right.
Like local musicians who will do concerts at that pavilion. I don't remember when those things happen or if they are paid or free.
So we've walked this entire loop more than once, and we're on the home stretch here this morning, and we started off on the kind of the eastern side of the park. We walked the paved trail into the back, and it goes off into there are spurs that if you want to make it longer, you can. But
actually over by the archery range on this far end in front of us, if you keep going, I think there's another smaller loop.
Yes.
That connects to this main loop.
Yes. So you can make this walk as long as you want it to be.
We saw a lot of turtles in the springtime on that smaller loop near the archery range. I see some kayakers out on the lake.
There are some moderate grades, like as far as going uphill, just in a couple of places.
Yeah, it's mostly pretty level.
There's your rental canoes and kayaks, which you can take out for a fee. Yeah, it's not a hard walk. It's
just kind of long.
It's long.
If you are not used to walking several miles.
But it does have the virtue of, you park, you bike or walk, and then you finish where you started.
Yeah, it brings you back around.
So that's nice. It's nice to be able to do that. As I said earlier, it is open sun, so on like a really hot day. Today is not a hot day, which is kind of wild for September 1st.
Yeah.
But
in St. Louis, we usually have another good month of hot weather ahead of us.
Correct.
On September 1st.
It's in the 60s today, but on a day when it's in the 90s, it's kind of an oppressive walk. But on a day like today, I would say it's very nice. And again, very scenic.
It's not too bad today, but the lake can make it a little breezy sometimes.
It can. You can have the opposite problem where the lake can cool things off a bit, which in the winter time can make it a little bit, little bracing, I think.
So if you're planning to come here, just kind of keep in mind that the weather may be slightly different and dress accordingly.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll finish up our walk here, but I will say that this is kind of one of my hidden gems of a place to walk. There are some mornings I just want to get a few miles of walking in, just get outside, clear my head, and Creveport Lake is great for that, but it's also very busy. And so I like this place because it's very easy to get to. It's low traffic as far as cars are concerned. And again, this video is being taken on what probably is one of the busiest days this park ever has.
Yeah.
And it's like a weekday morning at Creveport Lake.
Yeah.
It's a great place to come to if you want a quiet walk, and but you want paved and you still want something that is very accessible.
Yes.
And this is a very easy park to get to from St. Louis and St. Charles counties especially.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is pick up 370. So take 270 to 370 or take 70 to 370. Yeah. And you'll be here within a few minutes. And as I said at the outset, because it is right off the highway, like with less than a mile, and it's straight off.
Yeah, it's maybe not even a quarter of a mile off the highway.
It's not even a quarter of a mile off the highway.
So there are a whole bunch of geese all lined up on that levee over there.
Yes.
You hear them?
Yes.
They look kind of funny because they're all lined up. You just see their long necks and heads popping up.
Again, that's one of the real beauties of this park, is that it is, there's still a fair amount of nature.
Yeah.
I will see, we noticed coming in that we are finally starting to see sort of a buildup of civilization.
Well, if you look over there by the levee,
I
think that's a levee.
It is.
You can see the top of a huge industrial building that is a more recent build here.
and it makes you wonder kind of what the future is of this area. So hopefully the city will continue to keep some areas set aside so that you have some of the nature oasis going on in the midst of whatever buildup happens.
Well, I feel like the areas at the back of the park are what are more the protected,
Yes.
the focus of conservation. And well, we're coming up on the main entrance, that big overhead sign there. You drive under that to get into the park.
To the right of it. You drive so the sign you curve, that sign you go in and you curve, the road goes, the road diverts just a hair to the right of that sign.
Yeah, so that's the main entrance, and so I feel like on this side of the park is closer to development, and this is the area where you're more likely to see more buildings going up.
Yes.
Like there's a huge Amazon warehouse just on the other side of 370.
Within maybe a mile or two.
Yeah, it's very close. Yeah, if you live in St. Louis and you order something from Amazon, it often comes from that warehouse.
Yeah, is it STL 8?
STL 8.
The archery range is straight ahead. Discussed that earlier. You can go and shoot at that range for a fee. Not bad. Got another pavilion over there, and parking. I didn't really talk about parking. There is parking on the south and east sides of the park. There is more than enough parking for
even on a busy day.
There's just never. Some of it's gravel. It's kind of primitive, but there is usually more than enough for what you need. It's adequate. There are the occasional porta potty. Not a whole lot in the area, like restroom facilities, but
I think I saw some restroom facilities over by the RV park and the park office.
So you got
they
a little.
Might have been like single person
Right.
restrooms.
There's a little bit
in them, so I don't know how nice they are.
You can see some over by the archery range.
Yeah.
There's a couple of porta potties.
There's actually a lot of parking at the archery range.
It's the largest parking lot. So the worst of worst case scenarios, you can find parking there, but there's.
We've never had to park over there.
No, we tend to park on the east side because it's quiet.
Yeah.
Again, you just got a road that kind of runs along the east side of the park up to where that parking is.
Yeah. And that parking over there, there's actually a lot of people fishing there.
There is. You can see the dog park there.
And I think there's two separate fenced areas in the dog park. One's for larger dogs and one's for smaller dogs.
Yes.
So they separate dogs.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so that is a little bit of an overview of what you see at Lakeside, 370 Lakeside Park. And so if you're a walker or a biker and you're looking for something kind of open where you can do a loop, and maybe you want to try somewhere new or you want to try somewhere more quiet, I would say that 370 Lakeside absolutely needs to be on your radar. It is one of my favorite places when I need just a nice long kind of head clearing kind of walk. This is a go-to for me.